Every night you close your eyes, and suddenly you're inside a world that makes no rules. You can fly, you can fall, you can meet people who aren't even alive anymore. And the crazy part is, it all feels real for a moment. But here's the big question. Why do we dream? And do our dreams actually mean anything? Are they secret messages from our brain? Emotional warnings? Or just random images with no purpose at all? In this videocast, we're gonna break down the real science behind dreams, how they work, why they happen, and what researchers actually discovered about their meaning.
So today we're cracking open one of the biggest mysteries out there, dreams. Every single night we go into this, this high definition movie theater inside our own heads. And the question is always the same. Is it all just random noise? Or is there some kind of hidden message in there? You know, when you wake up because you just flew over your childhood home arguing with, like, a Roman emperor. Should you be looking for a secret code? We're going to strip away all the myths. We're throwing up the dream dictionaries, and we're going straight to the science of what dreams actually tell us.
And that's really our mission here. We've looked at sources that treat the brain less like it's resting and more like it's a giant chaotic workplace that needs serious maintenance every night. We're trying to find the scientific why behind it all and connect it directly to your emotions, your memories, and maybe even the problems you don't realize you're wrestling with.
Okay, let's get into that, because rest is the word everyone uses for sleep. But it sounds like the brain is actually working overtime.
It's absolutely the ultimate night shift. Think about it. When you're awake, your brain is just too busy. You know, dealing with traffic, conversations, finding your keys. It's just collecting data, not filing it. But the second you fall asleep, that's when the real work starts.
Right. So if we stick with that analogy, the brain as this huge room full of files, what's on the night shift worker's checklist? What is it actually doing?
So based on the material, it's doing 4 really critical things at once. First, it's organizing files, all that stuff from the day.
Just sorting through the mess.
Exactly. Second, it's sorting emotions, trying to kind of neutralize the big feelings from the day. Third, it's checking for problems, running little simulations on things you haven't solved. And fourth, this is the big one, it's moving memories around, taking important short-term stuff and locking it into long-term storage.
So the dream itself isn't the point of the whole process. It's more like a side effect, the exhaust from all that engine work.
Precisely. It's the creative output of all that cleaning. If you want a formula for a dream, it's basically a creative soup made from 5 key ingredients all swirling together.
Okay, what are they?
First, your memories, both old and new. Second, your current emotions, especially the ones you're pushing down. Third, your deep-seated fears. Fourth, your hopes and your wishes. And fifth, and this is a really important one, all the tiny little things you saw or heard during the day that you didn't even notice.
That last one feels like it explains the weirdness, but it also takes us straight to the biggest cultural belief about dreams. I mean, we have to talk about the idea that dreams are secret codes. I remember being a kid and someone telling me that if you dream your teeth are falling out, it means someone is going to die.
Oh, that idea is everywhere.
Yeah.
It's so deep in our culture, we assign these almost direct one-to-one meanings. Teeth falling out means death. A snake means you have an enemy.
Right, or water means money is coming.
And the science on this, I mean, neurology is just definitive.
It's completely definitive. There is no evidence for a dream code, not like a cipher you could look up in a dictionary. Dreaming of water isn't going to get you a raise next week.
They're not secret codes, and they are not predictions. We have to be really clear on that.
Okay, but let me push back on that a little, because isn't that just semantics? If I'm stressed about my job and I dream about a monster, isn't the monster basically a code for my stress?
That's a great question, and it's a subtle but really important difference. It's not a code for an external thing, it's a metaphor for an internal state. The monster isn't a code for your boss, it's a visual representation of how you feel, that stress, that tension. So dreams aren't instructions, they're emotional mirrors. They show you how you really feel inside.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. So the example from the research makes it clear. A kid has a huge fight with their sibling, goes to bed upset.
And that stress is just sitting there unprocessed. So the brain gets to work on it, and the child dreams of a monster chasing them.
So the dream isn't a warning about monsters.
Not at all. It's the brain saying, I'm processing this feeling of fear and helplessness from that fight. So, quick summary. Dreams are not secret codes, but they are absolutely mirrors of your emotions.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have to talk about the weirdness. If it's just sorting files, why can we suddenly fly? Or talk to people we haven't seen in 20 years? Or fall off a skyscraper and be fine?
Yeah, does the night shift worker have too much coffee? The weirdness actually has a very specific neurological reason. Let's call it the logic switch.
The logic switch.
Yeah. During REM sleep, which is where the most vivid dreams happen, the most rational, logical part of your brain gets, well, turned down a lot.
And which part is that?
That's mainly your prefrontal cortex. It handles logic, planning, judgment. It's kind of like the editor of your reality. So when the editor goes home for the night, the emotional and visual parts of the brain are left unsupervised. They're in charge.
And they can do whatever they want.
Anything. The laws of physics, of time, they just don't apply anymore. The brain is free to stitch together a memory of your grandmother with a fear of spiders and a wish to travel, all in one bizarre, non-linear story.
It's pure fantasy filmmaking, because a critic is asleep.
Exactly.
Okay, so that explains the how. But let's get to the most actionable part. If we're using this mirror idea instead of a dictionary, what are the 4 concrete things dreams actually reveal about us?
Right. So the first big truth is that dreams reveal your emotions. They're like an emotional pressure valve. If you're sad or scared or stressed and you can't really express it during the day, the brain deals with it at night, often in a really traumatic way.
You mentioned the classic falling dream.
Yeah.
What's the deeper take on that?
It's almost never about a literal fear of heights. It's a metaphor for feeling a loss of control in your waking life.
So, like, if you're starting a new project at work and you feel totally overwhelmed and unsupported,
Your brain translates that feeling of instability into the physical sensation of falling. It's confirming you feel unsupported, not predicting you'll fall.
that's so much more useful. Okay, what's the second truth?
The second one is all about your unprocessed memories. You know when you dream about a person or a place you haven't thought about in years?
Yeah, like my old elementary school pops up out of nowhere. Why?
It's because your brain is finally getting around to filing that memory away properly. It's moving it from short-term storage to the long-term archives. In the process of looking at that old memory, it becomes active and it gets woven into the story of the night. It's basically a sign of good housekeeping.
Fascinating. And the third one, which I think is so practical, is that they reveal your hidden problems.
Yes. Your brain is running a simulation. You might be avoiding a big decision during the day, but at night, your brain is testing out the options.
So if you're trying to decide whether to move to a new city, you might dream about different paths.
Or you might dream of 2 different houses. One that's exciting but chaotic, and one that's calm but boring. The brain is exploring the emotional outcomes of your choices in a totally safe environment. It's problem solving, just not in a straight line.
And the fourth truth is probably the most amazing one, your natural creativity.
Absolutely. The sources really emphasize this. Because that logical editor is gone, your brain can connect completely unrelated ideas, idea A and idea B, which would never go together in the waking world.
Can suddenly fuse into something brilliant.
Exactly. I mean, we have these incredible world-changing examples. Dmitri Mendeleev supposedly figured out the entire structure of the periodic table in a dream.
And then there's the story about the Beatles.
Paul McCartney. The melody for Yesterday, one of the most famous songs ever written, came to him fully formed in a dream. It wasn't logic, it was just a creative download.
It's wild to think that some of history's greatest breakthroughs happened while we were completely unconscious. Okay, before we move on, we have to talk about nightmares. They feel like a 5-alarm fire, a real danger signal.
They do, but they're not signaling external danger, they're internal stress signals. Very, very loud ones. It's your brain screaming, hey, you're under too much pressure, do something about this.
And there are common causes, right?
Yeah, they usually point back to one of 5 things. Just general stress, or extreme fatigue, being so tired your brain can't process things gently.
What else?
Eating a big meal right before bed, that can cause physical stress. Or watching scary movies, which gives your brain intense negative material to work with. And finally, of course, processing a traumatic experience.
So the message is simple. Ease up. The system is overloaded.
That's it. It's an overflow warning.
Let's circle back one last time to the prediction thing, because sometimes a dream feels shockingly accurate. You dream about an old friend, and then they call you the next day. What is that?
Science is firm. It's not predicting the future. But the reason it feels that way is actually a testament to how smart your brain is. It goes back to that fifth ingredient we mentioned.
The tiny details we miss when we're awake.
Exactly. So let's say you dream your friend Jane calls. Why? Well, maybe during the day you walked past a cafe and subconsciously saw a type of mug she loves. Then you scrolled past a post online that used a word she always uses.
Tiny little clues.
Micro clues that your conscious mind completely missed. But your sleeping brain gathers all those little data points, sees the pattern, and concludes Jane is on the mind. So it creates a story about her. It's not magic, it's just incredibly powerful data processing.
High-level intelligence disguised as prophecy. I like that. So the last piece of this puzzle is, why do dreams feel so real? I mean, sometimes they feel more vivid and emotionally intense than real life.
That's all about the physiology of REM sleep.
Yeah.
Everything gets turned up to max. Your brain activity is almost the same as when you're awake. Your heart rate actually increases. And crucially, the emotional centers in your brain are hyper-stimulated. So joy feels more ecstatic. Fear feels more terrifying.
So you get a high-power brain, a racing heart, and emotions at full blast, all focused on this one internal movie.
It's a potent combination. It creates a sensory experience that feels completely overwhelmingly real. And that's why the memory of it is so vivid when you wake up.
Okay, so let's wrap this all up with a simple summary for you. The science is actually pretty elegant. When you dream, your brain is just cleaning the room. It's sorting your feelings, filing your memories, and running tests on your problems. And it plays this beautiful, bizarre, illogical movie while it works.
And those movies don't have magical meanings, but they are probably the most honest reflection you'll ever get of what's really going on inside you.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you to take with you tonight.
We know the brain uses dreams to work on problems and notice details we miss. So think about this. What big decision have you been avoiding during the day? When you wake up from your next dream, don't just focus on the story. Instead, write down the top 3 emotions you felt, and then try to match those feelings to the biggest unresolved issues in your life right now. Your sleeping brain might just be showing you the emotional solution that your waking brain is too busy, or maybe too scared, to see.
Dreams aren't just colorful stories your brain plays at night. They can reflect your emotions, your memories, your fears, but they can also be totally random, with zero hidden message. The truth is, dreams tell us something, but not always in the way people think. So if you care about understanding your mind, your emotions, and how your brain processes life, don't sleep on the science behind dreams. I'm really glad you were here with me in this videocast. Before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we've got so many more mind-opening topics coming up.